Hey, what's up? Crowdflow is a project I'm working on. Crowdflow is a omniverse based simulation extension that's basically meant to use agents to find emergent behavior given certain constraint, physical constraints. So think event planning, think planning for bad actors, right? That's the idea. So basically, you create a setup with a physical environment. It could be a Coachella concert and how that's set up, or some other thing like a football game or something like that. And you're able to see how the crowd will be able to move given certain physical constraints and maybe future implementations or future add-ons could be stuff like adding weather, how that impacts behavior and stuff like that. So that's the core idea. And then obviously I want to try to do something like a large language model. So maybe you describe a scene to a large language model and set up so you can give like a simulation of it. So I think it's a really fun project and it's nice to work on right now. Honestly, I don't think it's even hard per se. I think the biggest issue is that the bugs just take a long time to debug. Like when I'm building, it's really fast and really like it's easy to iterate on the past thing. But then it's like I run to like after like 2 hours, I run to a bug that takes like 5 hours to debug. And it's a whole thing, and it's annoying at times. But honestly, it's been fun. It's just nice to see like the balls on the screen move, which is weird to say, but it's cool. It's a very cool project to work on right now. It's changed a lot of directions. I know. I went to the NVIDIA conference and then um I met one of the developers and he gave me some resources to check out. So I checked those out. I joined their Discord, and then I was seeing different resources, and there was a video someone else sent me about the last year from the development of the Omniverse and different applications. And there's a startup called Illusion, and they were basically doing something very similar, but it was less for emergent behavior, like identifying emergent behavior, rather more just for like visualizing scenes, right? Like so let's say an architecture person pitching like a building, or maybe it's for like an animation of sorts. That's what they were doing. Mine is more emergent behavior, so I still have like a niche of usefulness within it about doing this project. But even then, I think it's such a small I think there's such a small subset of people that I've seen, or even online, just working on stuff like this. And it's not meant to be like some very impactful project, but I do think there's novelty in like trying to learn how this works and then building on top of it. So either which way is still I think it's still useful and a good use of time. Um, it's exciting. It's exciting. I have an NVIDIA interview, so they'll likely ask about this, making sure I have enough knowledge. And there's obviously going to ask. I was looking at my resume, it has just like a bunch of RAG stuff, so I think they're going to ask some questions about RAG evals and whatnot, so I had to prep for that. Um, I don't know. I think this has been, it's like, it's not like my usual projects. It's like something very new. And it's like, I don't know. Because with like the RAG one, it was a really, I think it was an easy, thought process for me. It was like, okay, I was in the student government board. I saw there was a problem. I was like, okay, you know, it'd be easy to do. Just create like a RAG chatbot that helps people either use our allocation manuals for the government. If you're a student, or use that to get the proper information. That was an easy like thing here. Like this is just like from the ground up, right? And it's like even then I'm thinking about like problems to identify. That's like a very weird. I don't know. I think it's like a less that it's a more indirect project in a sense, but I think it's been fun. It's like a cool thing to try new technology. So that's always awesome. But man, those debugging sessions are not fun. But I think in general, I think it's just fun to work on projects. I think projects are a great way to find purpose, especially outside of your academic curricular. Because I think I think for many people out there, it's either they stick very hard to the curriculum and just like do the classes like for the next 4 years and then they leave and it's like, yeah, that's going on. And then you have the other people who don't do the curriculum, have like bad grades and stuff, and just don't do stuff related to CS or their intended career path. I think that's like both paths, in my opinion, are just not ideal. So I think it's a nice way to find purpose and just like build excitement. I think especially early on in like the first 2 years of college, it's less like the classes aren't that interesting application wise. A lot of it is like the theory is cool, like learning new stuff is real. So I think physics is one of like the great examples of that for theory. But like when it comes to actual application stuff, it's not real. Like even the projects you do, it's like, oh, okay, this I guess it's cool to build like a pet shelter simulator thing, but like I don't know. I guess. But like, when you have actual projects outside of class, you have a lot of you learn much faster, and that's also like after you're done, you can say, like, "Oh, I really built this, and this has a lot of use, and people can go use it." So I think it's really exciting. I think with this, I'm hoping that other people go use it or build on top of it. Also, speaking of build on top of stuff, I think I have to like go back at some point in time, maybe during Christmas season or maybe in the spring or something. At some point in time, I have to go back to all my projects and make sure they're clean and like so I can just like leave them on my GitHub and people can go access them because all of my projects are really messy and I think they have a bunch of exposed API keys. Actually, they don't. I moved them last time I checked, but still, um, it's exciting. I have to go do that. But yeah, besides that, I'm literally just working on this. I think I'm making this video right now so I can go eat dinner without worrying about not having made the video. But I think it's really nice to just have something I'm focused on. And I don't have any homework for the day, so I've just been focused on this for like the past couple of hours. I'm hoping to make significant progress. At least have like with the agents have more of a navigation system, and then that can be impacted or that impacted by the physical constraints that I put into the thing. So at least have that done maybe by 2 a.m. I'm trying not to stay up too late because when I stay up too late, like for the midterm for math, I go like a long headache and it's still affecting me. So I'm trying to adjust my sleeping schedule. Also, there's a hackathon happening tomorrow with Claude, so that's gonna be exciting to see what I build. I'm thinking something along the lines of headspaces and being able to plug into a headspace and plug out. So maybe that could be really cool and interesting to build. I think it's gonna be a 2 hour hackathon or 1 hour hackathon. But either way, I think it'll be nice to try out something there, make like a minimum MVP. I've also noticed with these hackathons, a lot of the, um, at least with the short ones, a lot of the what's the word here? The stylistic choices don't matter. Oh no, that's not true. I think a lot of the functionality doesn't matter as much. Cause I was looking at the hackathons, and realized like there wasn't really an investigation of how well it worked. There wasn't like a bunch of test trials or something like that. I was just like, you present it as well as you can present it. I was like, okay, that makes sense. Cause even thinking about two steel hacks, the one my team and I won, I don't. I was asleep when we won it because no, I wasn't asleep. I think I was actually. For Steel Hacks, we stayed. It was a 24-hour hackathon, I think. And then in the morning after the hackathon, like when the hackathon finished, I had a meeting. So I had to go to the meeting. Then I came back, and there was like 2 hours. I had to wait 2 hours for the award ceremony, but then I was so tired, so I just crashed on a random couch. And then when I woke up, we had won the, we had won the track we were doing. So that was awesome. But that's something to take note of. So the hackathon tomorrow and this project are really my main focuses and the interview. So hopefully that goes well. Besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.